everybody knows that we're spending 90% of our time indoors, and we are not programmed to do that. So now when we're in internal environments, we really need to consider how the impact of an environment, how that makes someone feel within a space.
Don't allocate on job title, allocate on actual need, i.e. does somebody need to have a private space? Is that because their style of working means they work better in a private enclosed area? Then try and give them that.
Every single piece of research that comes back goes for every dollar we invest in this space of well-being, you get $4 back. So I don't know why the chief financial officers are not embracing this, because it's just an easy way to get more productivity and more profitability. This is good business.
We design to people. We design to people that use the space, that visit the space, and so on. And then either HR or stakeholders that actually work in the building are a fundamental aspect to it. So I think it's an integrated aspect designing, right?
People are more open about mental health. They're more open about requirement of spaces and understanding limitations. We're talking about limitations of space and the requirements for marketable area. The staff area is just for the value of the staff. It's not return on investment, it's the value of investments.
Some of the key takeaways is about realizing the importance of not just wellness and well-being in isolation, but seeing it in line with the facility that we work in.
Engaged employees, anywhere between 8 to 20% increase in productivity and profitability. On the flip side of that, disengaged employees, and there's a new study out at a recent conference, Wellbeing in the Workplace conference, research done by Gallup, here in the UAE, we're losing $1.175 million an hour through disengaged employees.
It's really important to go through the proper stages of a briefing stage, and then also going into the concept, the development of the layout. These are the most key elements of a project. And to really understand how it's going to function, you really have to have a good understanding how the people within it need to use the space. As I said, you're talking about something that is maybe 2 or 3 weeks, but it's going to have an impact for 5 to 10 years.
Open door policy isn't about doors, it's about being and feeling and listening to your people, and don't pretend to listen either. But if you are still allocating, if you're saying, right, okay, managing director needs a big office so he can hold private meetings, I understand that some people need to have private meetings. People say that about me. They're like, you haven't got an office, don't you need to have meetings? I'm like, no, there's meeting rooms for that. I would be having a lot more meetings if I had a closed office, because I wouldn't understand. Whereas actually people walk to my desk, tell me a problem, can we fix it? We can fix that really easily.
You need to have patient space, you need to have nice lobbies, big corridors, wide open areas, and a lot of patient areas. That's what you market, that's the return on investment. What we've done here very well is the patient space and the staff pantries. I mean, this was a very small but very significant aspect of the design. Eventually, that's where staff will sit. If you're going on a 12-hour shift as a nurse, you can't run down to the pantry or to the cafe. No, you need to have a pantry within your unit. You need to go to have that quick cup of coffee. You need to look out the window. It will make a big difference.
Is a fantastic example of how well-being can be built into the design. This atrium that we have a cafe, we have a restaurant, and rest all is open space. There's a piano in between, so whether it's patients, their families, or it's the employees, whenever they want to ease out, decrease their stress, they come down to the atrium. And not only for this, one complete side of this atrium is a green wall. Now these are also design elements which were brought in on purpose from the perspective of wellness and well-being of people who come there.
There was a project in Kuwait. Actually, we spent 4 months interviewing people doing this data collection. We interviewed students, we interviewed people that worked there, stakeholders, and then understanding their company culture, because their vision was actually not aligned with the building that they had. People that worked there, they didn't know each other. They didn't talk to each other. They only met in corridors, they only met at the lobby and so on. So how do you promote these encounters? So what we did then was create a space that was open. There was no corridors. So all the classrooms will lead into what we call like a social hub, and which is like a big circulation slash learning space slash encounter space with different hubs and small cafeterias, seating areas and so on, that you can use the space in different ways and meet people.